Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
You know, the things that makes the golden rules is that they're evergreen. But I thought you just said they were gold. Can it be gold and green at the same time? You get the point. They apply no matter what. And something we haven't brought up in a while because the campaign portion of the Donald Trump presidency is over for good. This is his second term, right? Is the snapshots and sound bites and the idea of contrast. Folks, political battles are always going to be snapshots and sound bites. You're seeing it up on Capitol Hill right now. Got Bobby Kennedy up there. We'll cover that tomorrow, a little bit today on the radio show. But just some mild fireworks going on as people tell Bobby Kennedy all kinds of things they think he said and said. So this is how it works. But snapshots and sound bites, and these senators know it, right? But contrasts matter too. Contrasts matter because people tend to see things differently depending on the background and the context. The diamond and the black background. I use the example all the time. Like, wow, that has some real luster to it. The contrast between Karine Jean-Pierre and what we saw yesterday at the White House briefing with Caroline Leavitt, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the sharpest I've seen in the history of White House spokespeople. What a briefing yesterday. America's in a new direction right now, and there are political lessons here. But there was a lot yesterday. The drone answer, a whole bunch of stuff came out. Got a ton of questions on that. Big show today. Hey, I count on Dream Powder to help me wind down, wake up, refreshed, and energized. It's made right here in America. Go to shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for 47% off your first order. You get it? 47%. Hey, by the way, also, today's show brought to you by Field of Greens, one of my favorite supplements. You resolved to get healthier this year. Great. How do you do it? Supplements? Well, a lot of those green fruit and vegetable powders, they're crap. They're a bunch of extracts. Who knows how long this stuff's sitting around? Has it been fresh? Is it fresh? You don't know. Was it doctor selected? Field of Greens is different. You know why? They make a better health promise. Makes it radically different. Listen to this. Enjoy a delicious Field of Greens drink every day. Just put a scoop, wild berry, lemon, lime, whatever it is, in your favorite drink. Put in water if you want. Doesn't matter. It tastes good. And your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. You can't beat that. How in the world can Field of Greens promise better health? Because each fruit and vegetable was doctor selected for a specific health benefit. There's a heart health group, lung and kidney groups, metabolism, even healthy weight. One drink a day is all it takes. I take 2. Your call. You look and feel healthier with more energy fast. Even your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. I showed you my blood work. That's legit. Get 20% off your first order with code Dan at brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. That's code Dan at brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. All right, fellas, let's go. Snapshots and sound bites. Again, I'm sorry to say this in advance, but I'm still in the end stages of the inauguration crud. Please forgive me for the unintended sound effects. I know, I get it. I hear you. There's nothing I can do. I choose not to have a cough button because it'll interrupt the show, and sometimes people cough. My call, maybe it's not the greatest call in the world, but it's just how I choose to run my show. So, snapshots, sound bites, and contrasts. These are really important we understand this. Midterms are not that far away. I want to get out ahead of myself, but they really aren't in the context of political life. Snapshots and sound bites. Short sound bites and pictures are what determine what political narratives are going to be. Most people are not reading white papers because they're busy and they're working for a living. But contrasts matter too. What a contrast at the press podium yesterday between Karine Jean-Pierre and now. I wanted to remind you over the last 2.5 years after Jen Psaki, what we had to deal with in the White House with this absolutely incompetent buffoon in Karine Jean-Pierre who could not answer a question without saying, call someone else or have to refer to the binder. Do you remember this? This is just a brief reminder of the nonsense we had to tolerate for 2.5 years from the worst press secretary in U.S. history. Check this out.
The president loves his son. He is proud of how his son is rebuilding his life. And as far as anything specific about any investigation, any criminal investigation, we just are going to be consistent and just not comment.
It's been a devastation as we have seen. You've just mentioned the president was never in business with his son. I just don't have anything else to add. Senator Horino, who I said the president spoke to just last night, he thanked the president for the immediate support of federal agencies have delivered for residents of Hawaii. and so has Senator Schatz.
The NORAD is part of it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium,
a pact of nations.
A pact, exactly, and so that's why we were able to do that. It clearly in step with Canada.
Okay, so today, as you all saw just an hour or so ago, President Obama announced that, President Biden. Whoa! That is news. I don't have anything. 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 I just don't have anything. I don't have anything. We don't have anything. I just don't have anything. Don't have anything. I don't have any. I don't have anything. I just don't have anything. I don't have anything.
Folks. My lungs still hurt. The chat is just tearing it up right now. We had to deal with this for 2.5 years. Peak incompetence. Now, yesterday, you get Caroline Leavitt. I want you to keep in mind, Caroline Leavitt, guys, can you look this up for me? How old is Caroline Leavitt? The chat is just going. How much? She's not even 30 years old. She's not even 30 years old. Comes out yesterday. Now, folks in the chat, you know this, right? Your first time at anything, when it involves something of such prominence, like being the White House press spokesperson, where the whole world is watching, your first time, let's be honest, is nerve-wracking. I don't want to wear you out with stupid stories, but the first time Fox News asked me to fill in for Hannity on his show at night, folks, I got to tell you, I had never been nervous about anything in my life in the media. I hadn't. I'm not bullshitting yet, except that. And you know when it hit me? I had guest hosted his radio show, and I walk across, it's right across the street, the Fox studio from where he does radio. So I'm walking across the street, and there's the big Fox, the electric sign that goes out in front and all this in this big building. And I've been going in there for years, no problem. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, tonight at 9 o'clock, that camera's going live, and I'm carrying this network's premiere show. Like, I better not this thing up, you know what I mean? It was the first time, I got to tell you, I was a little bit nervous on the air. The first 5 minutes or so, I had a tie on, which was a stupid move, because I felt like I was like suffocating because I never wore ties on the air. It's freaking hard. This young 27-year-old woman just went out in front of the whole world and just tore it to pieces. No binder, a couple of sheets of paper, and that was it. Man, she's got skills. So let's get to it, because this is not just about contrast and presentation. That's important because there are political lessons going forward. That the best we can do is to create snapshot and soundbite moments, but also to field personnel and candidates that perfectly contrast. And my gosh, what a difference from this loser we had in the past. So refreshing to see honest answers like this from the podium. And candid, extemporaneous answers, which doesn't have to think, oh, hold on, let me leaf through the binder. Let me go to B for border. She's asked a question about, hey, man, you guys are deporting a lot of these people, and some of them don't have criminal records. And Caroline Leavitt shuts that right down. If you entered the country illegally, you have a criminal record because you entered the country illegally. I have been waiting for someone to give this answer forever. Applause line, Caroline Leavitt. Check this out.
3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office. Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
Folks, that is a fact. And now I see a bunch of people. I'm going to prepare you now. Are you all ready for debunking? Folks, we're going to have to be doing this now for 4 years. We're going to have to instantly do what we did with the fake bloodbath hoax. We are the media now. We are the media now. One more time. What has two thumbs and is the media now? This guy and you. You guys got a screenshot of that? Man, if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, 9 minutes and 40 seconds in, you better look at that. That was the quintuple barreled middle finger, the sextuple barreled middle finger. We're the media now. We have to take charge. I say that because the minute she said that, a bunch of liberal bags on Twitter were like, well, technically it's a civil penalty to be in the United States illegally. Correct. However, it is not a civil penalty to evade border officials and enter the country illegally. Do you get the difference? You see how the nitpickers pick nits? They go, well, Caroline Leavitt's not exactly accurate. Being here illegally or being here without the proper paperwork is a civil violation. Crossing the border illegally is a crime. That's what she's talking about. How do you think they got here? You think they were airdropped in? What are you, an idiot? I want to throw a hat tip out because I enjoy promoting other creators, content creators, and influencers. Insurrection Barbie put a tweet up about this, debunking this nonsense that if you cross the border illegally, that somehow you magically found yourself here and it's a civil violation. Yes, being here without the proper documentation, without evidence you crossed the border illegally is technically a civil violation. Of course you got here crossing the border illegally. That's a crime, period. Folks, it is up to us. It is up to us. We are the media now. I mean it. I don't mean this hyperbolically as a virtue signal to kiss your ass. You guys are the media now. We won. We beat them. We beat billion-dollar media communist enterprises doing exactly what we're doing now, taking media misinformation and correcting it on platforms bigger than they have. And the combined effort of all of us is bigger than them. I've been dying for someone to give that answer for a long time. You cross the border illegally, you are a criminal. Here was another answer yesterday. The media now all of a sudden is interested in the Biden inflation. They ignored Biden's inflation while Biden was in office to try to cover him so he'd get a Democrat elected, Kamala Harris or Joe Biden prior to him. They ignored the massive effect on Americans' wallets. We hit 9% inflation at one point. What happened under the Biden years with the massive printing of money, chasing a bunch of objects, which led to inflation every freaking time, the media ignored it. Just like they always ignore it. Now we're a week in. They want Donald Trump to fix it overnight. We've got a bird flu outbreak. Are eggs expensive? Here, you want to hear the truth? Yes. Is Donald Trump president? Yes. Does Donald Trump have anything to do a week in with eggs being expensive? No. It's not even possible. Watch these media people try to peg down Caroline Leavitt right now. I pin her down here on this, how somehow now a week in, Donald Trump's responsible for 4 years of the Biden inflation. She gives a perfect answer. Great job reframing it by Caroline Leavitt. Do not accept the premise of a stupid question. Watch this.
Christian Day talk.
Thanks, Caroline. Just real quick, you mentioned the inflation executive order the president signed, but egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office. So what specifically is he doing to lower those costs for Americans?
Really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage.
I'm not sure People's Elbow or Karate Man. I'm going People's Elbow. Got to give some love today to Justin. Gave me the People's Elbow card. That's how you give an answer, man. You notice she's not looking down? Hold on. Wait. Page 7, eggs. Bullet point 6.2. Who just said it? Who said it? Someone at MG Rez, what'd you say? She is an effing pit bull, MJ Rez. You're darn right. Yes, she is. What is this? What's going on here for the Apple Spotify listeners? Rock'em sock'em, kids. These things still have not broken. They have still, you believe it? The Rock'em sock'ems have still not broken. Although the Donald Trump face on one of them is getting a little messed up. We may have to get a backup from all the body slams. Excuse me. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. Folks, do not fall for the egg line, okay? Are eggs expensive? You are correct. Is Donald Trump president? You are correct. Is there a correlation or causal relationship between those two? There's certainly not a causal one. Donald Trump is already committed to bringing down inflation. There is a severe supply shortage with eggs. The media used to report on this stuff when it was Republicans in office, ignored it with Democrats. Now all of a sudden they're interested again in inflation. Fascinating. IMHO, my humble opinion, though, the biggest answer given yesterday from the White House briefing room for a number of reasons was the answer on drones. Got a lot of questions about this. Folks, I'm going to play the answer for you first, obviously. I want to play this segment first, though, however. It's from a News Nation clip. It's this guy being interviewed about the situation with drones and the FAA. And I see two possible scenarios here from the drone answer from Caroline Leavitt, who says it was an FAA basically approved. A lot of these were FAA approved and some of it was recreational. I see two possible solutions. I'll tell you what they are, but I want you to listen to this News Nation interview first, because if this is all FAA approved stuff, then why were there TFRs being violated, temporary flight restrictions? And why did the FAA not exactly come clean on this early? Like many of you, I'm not sure the whole truth is out there. And I'm not telling you Caroline Leavitt's lying to you. I'm just telling you there may be more there that hasn't fully been disclosed yet. Let me play this first, and you'll see what I mean. Check this out.
The FBI has been trying very hard to capture one of these drones. They've been trying to bring them down. They've been trying to find the source, and they've failed. So if somebody from the neighbourhood was putting up just a standard drone, they've been doing it very cleverly because the best resources of the US military and government have been unable to catch them. And that's why people are concerned. They describe objects that are 5 feet wide. In some cases, they appear to be changing their shape. They're doing all sorts of weird, anomalous things, and all the public want is answers, because they're concerned, whatever the government says and denies, they want answers, and they're concerned that it's a national security issue. And I noticed on the weekend, Senator Schumer, the former Senate Minority Leader, Democrat for New York, he also said the drones are back, and he too wants answers. He suggested the new president needs to explain what's really going on.
Yeah.
Folks, I am absolutely certain President Trump, Caroline Leavitt, the entire national security team are committed to your public safety and are committed to get an answer, period. Heard it from people very close to them. They are absolutely committed to this. They want to get you an answer as fast as possible. Does this explain everything that's happening up in the air in New Jersey, around the country, where there have been other drone sightings as well? I don't think so. Something I've said to you often in the past is, and you don't have to like it, but I'm going to tell you it's because it's true. Folks, we don't need to know everything. We don't. Some things I would like to know. Of course, I am not a journalist, but we do put out information and report on stuff. But I've said to you often that there are a couple things best done sometimes behind closed doors. Making love and making war. Sometimes there are negotiations going on behind closed doors to tell foreign adversaries, hey, this is going to stop. And we're going to say this until it does stop. And if it doesn't stop and we have to out you and you're going to force us to take on some political damage, we're going to make this extremely painful for you. I don't believe that's the whole story. Let me play Caroline Leavitt's answer on the drone thing. She came out right in the beginning and said this. And then I'm going to give you some other information which makes this an interesting answer, to say the least. Is someone at the FAA still trying to hide something from the Trump team? Maybe some Biden holdovers? I don't know, but this is very suspicious. Check this out.
After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that, I will turn it over to questions.
All right, then we've got some explaining to do from people on the inside in the Biden administration. And I'll tell you what I mean coming up next, because their own Department of Defense back in December before they left office gave us an entirely different story. So if that's accurate, and I'm not saying it's not, then I want an investigation of the Biden team, why the Defense Department, the FAA, FBI, DHS, and DOD all seem to be lying to us. A lot going on here. You'll see what I mean coming up next. Quick break. Hey, we may have won this election here, but the fight to restore our great nation is only beginning. Now's the time to take a stand. Patriot Mobile is leading the charge. They're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Patriot Mobile offers a way to vote with your wallet without compromising on quality or convenience. Patriot Mobile isn't just about providing exceptional cell phone service. It's a call to action to defend our rights and freedoms. With Patriot Mobile, you'll get outstanding nationwide coverage because they operate on all three major networks. If you have cell phone service today, you can get cell phone service with Patriot Mobile with a coverage guarantee. The difference is every dollar you spend with Patriot Mobile supports a company believes in the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Switching's easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their 100% U.S.-based customer support team will help you find the perfect plan. Right now, go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with the promo code Dan. Switch to Patriot Mobile today and defend freedom with every call and text you make. Visit patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Thank you, Patriot Mobile. Make the switch today. I need you in the chat. Everyone in the chat, you ready? I'm going to be looking at your answers here in a second, so you'll see me peek over to my right. Do you guys believe the FAA story? These are all FAA-approved drones, and that explains everything? Yes, I do. No, I don't. I'm just interested. Is Bongino there? I would love to kind of get a account on who believes it and who doesn't. I'm going to tell you I'm skeptical. Wow, that's a lot of no's and F. Wow. You got to tell you, I didn't expect that. I expected it more to be like 60-40 yes, not almost. It looks, what do you think, guys? Almost 95% no? No, not completely. Yeah. I think no, not completely is probably right. The naughty vegan. Nope, the naughty vegan. And I am Mom Bear too. Hell no. Gina of the Carolinas. No. Mustang Hill. No. Yeah, I am. I'm not sure that's the whole story, folks. And again, we don't need to know everything. I get that. But it doesn't explain this. Here is a Department of Defense release from December 14th of last year. Just over a month ago. Okay, 2024, but, just over a month ago. Joint Staff addresses drones over New Jersey military installation. They know right now the FBI, DHS, FAA, and DOD have been unable to determine who's responsible for flying the drones. The FAA is in the opening sentence there in this thing, of the sentence we cited here. And there's no indication adversary nations are involved. Well, hold on, leave this up, please. I don't understand. This is what I didn't get. And I call me crazy, folks, for asking questions. And please prove me wrong. If they've been, quote, unable to determine who's responsible, then how do they know there's no indication it's adversary nations? This is what I just don't understand. We don't know who it is, but it's not that guy. It's like, who's at the front door? I don't know, but it's definitely not the guy selling pickles. Well, how do you know? You don't know who's at the door. I don't know. I'm guessing. It goes on. Here, it gets even worse. This is last month. To date, we have no intelligence or observations that would indicate that they were aligned with a foreign actor or had malicious intent, the spokesperson said. It goes on, but we don't know. We've not been able to locate or identify the operators or the point of origin. Guys, listen, it's my job is clear as a broadcaster and someone reporting on the stories of the day. I got to give you the truth. But wow, what that is, I'm going to tell you, Bongino, thank you. The great Bongino. I'm going to tell you, well, 1,800 votes, so that's a lot. I'm pretty blown away by it. I did not expect that at all. Not even close. 96.7% don't believe that's the whole story. 3% do. I think somebody's keeping something from the Trump team, or if the Trump team knows it's something that they have to handle behind closed doors, folks, that's okay. That's okay too, as long as I know they're handling it. You may disagree. I want to know. I don't need to know everything if they're handling it behind closed doors and we can be assured they're handling it. But the story's they're totally conflicting statements. All right, moving on, because I could spend all day on this. You know, I've been obsessed with this drone story because I've written books on the threat from the sky, both to Secret Service, with our FBI, our national security, and everything. And I think there's a lot more coming on this on the future. I don't think that's the end of it. I skipped this story because I got too excited about the drone thing. And luckily, Justin corrected me and said, bro, put all this work, cutting together all these segments. You're going to get this in there. This was huge news yesterday. Thank you, Caroline Leavitt and the Donald Trump team, for promises made, promises kept. Do you guys remember during the campaign, they said, we are opening up the White House press room. The White House Media Association people over there lost their minds. We don't need podcasters and influencers. We don't give a shit. We're old media. We're in charge. You're not in charge. This is a Bain moment. Do you feel like you're in charge? Because you're not. We're in charge now. We're the media. North-south position. It's actually, if you know how to use it in jiu-jitsu, it can be, but it can get ugly. It can get ugly fast. North-south position, if you find yourself that on the bottom in jiu-jitsu, you're going to wonder why you started playing jiu-jitsu. Right, Michael? You're like, how did this happen? How did this happen? We're in charge now. So Caroline Leavitt said this yesterday at the White House press podium. They are going to dedicate 2 seats for the people who are really the media now. Influencers, podcasters, and people in the new digital space that are dominating the messaging wars. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, White House press office. Thank you, President Trump. Promises made, promises kept. Take a listen.
We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House.
Yes! Thank you, Trump team. Some of you may have caught it on the radio show yesterday where the great producer Jim Verde, who we love, oh, look at that. I didn't even put that in the show. Producer Jim, you watching the show right now? He's like, no, I can't watch it. Yeah, he's watching it. He's like, no, I'm producing your show. No, he's just applied to be the Dan Bongino Show White House correspondent at JJ Verde. That is the great producer Jim, fills in for me sometimes with a Vita on the radio. I just asked Michael as well. I don't know if you heard. I don't know. I'm assuming the mic's not live in it. But I'm going to have Evita, if she's interested, apply as well. I would like no one better than Evita and Jim both to maybe once every few months get that seat. I mean, we are the largest live stream podcast, one of the biggest radio shows. It's just a fact. It's not a humble brag. It's just true. So you want to get a message to the MAGA audience. You know, we're only 20 minutes in. We got 125,000 of them right here. There's no better way to do it. So we did apply, and we'll see what happens. And we'll get to ask a bunch of the questions. And you know what? You know what would be great? To crowdsource the questions from the MAGA sphere here. Wouldn't that be awesome? Get a bunch of suggestions. So thank you, Caroline Leavitt and President Trump, for sticking to your word and doing the right thing, not the easy thing. All right, going to take a quick break, and here's what I got coming up. Folks, Tucker did an interview with a great journalist, Matt Taibbi. I do not trust Biden holdovers are giving the Trump team all of the honest information right now. I just don't. And one of the things I'm extremely suspicious of, and what I'm hoping Kash Patel can get accomplished at FBI, is, folks, what the hell is going on with the Trump assassination attempts and the complete media blackout on who these guys were? There's something big going on there, and they just refuse to report on it. And Taibbi said that the Trump people on the inside are getting really pissed off about this, and I hope they are. I got that coming up next. A big show. Also, the pushback against John Bolton's security detail a lot more. Helix Sleep. January's almost over, so is your chance to save with Helix mattresses while getting the best sleep of your life. You know, after being away on trips, I always, this is in this spot, but I can tell you this is an absolute fact. I always look forward to coming home to my own mattress. I don't like hotel beds anymore. I like my Helix Midnight Lux mattress. It's my second one. It's hard to sleep on anything else. It's like sleeping on a cloud. I sleep deeply throughout the night, and I always had problems sleeping before. I wake up rested and refreshed. Helix knows everyone's unique, from the position you sleep into your body type, and Helix will recommend the right mattress for you. So many of my listeners are going with the mattress from Helix and getting the best sleep of their lives. And right now, Helix has an amazing offer. Go to HELIX, helixsleep.com/Dan. HelixSleep.com/Dan for 20% off site-wide plus 2 free Dream pillows with a mattress purchase. That's HelixSleep.com/Dan for 20% off site-wide plus 2 free Dream pillows with a mattress purchase. HelixSleep.com/Dan. And our last sponsor before we get back to that Tucker interview, folks, I used to wake up sore from head to toe. Now I'm feeling great. Why? Change my pillow to MyPillow. You'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. Gets even better for a limited time. They're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Queen size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to King for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88. Multi-use pillows $9.88. They're sure you'll be satisfied. They offer a 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee. All orders over $75 ship absolutely free. MyPillow's offering an amazing deal on their classic MyPillow collection. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, or call 800-637-4982, or go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Dan to get these unbelievable offers. Once again, that's 800-637-4982, or go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Dan. Don't lose another night of good sleep. So important. Thank you, MyPillow. We appreciate it. All right. Another answer, in addition to this drone thing, I would be hesitant to accept from any Biden holdovers, if that's what happened. I'm not telling you, but if that's what happened, is anything on the Trump assassination attempts. Ladies and gentlemen, it makes no sense that we know basically the entire background of people involved in school shootings and everywhere else when there's some kind of political point to be made out of dead bodies, which is disgusting in and of itself. Yet we have two people, one who tried and another one who shot the president of the United States in the head. And it's amazing. We know absolutely nothing about them. There's no social media history, anything. Folks, there is something here they're hiding. Now, for those of you who don't understand how this process works, having worked in this space for many years, there is this thing. Everybody ready? This is the educational portion of today's show. Edutainment, we love it. MOUs, you have to know what that is. It's a memorandum of understanding. It's basically an official memo between agencies about what their understanding is going to be on an issue. The Secret Service has an MOU with the FBI. If there is an assassination attempt, the Secret Service does not investigate it. Why? Because there's a conflict of interest. There was a feeling that the Secret Service may want to cover up if there was some kind of an issue. So what the Secret Service does at an assassination scene, like they had in Butler, is they secure the crime scene because they're already there. So it makes sense for them to secure the crime scene. But the FBI actually conducts the investigation. Now, the problem is a lot of people don't trust the FBI. They have done very little to, at least at the management level, to earn our trust between all of the scandals at the FBI and the fact that we still don't have information about the shooter and this other situation in West Palm Beach says to me that something's being hidden right here. Here's Matt Taibbi, a great journalist. He did a Tucker interview here on the suspicious lack of answers. And I have the not so subtle drift and feeling here that in addition to the January 6th pipe bomber, the FBI knows a whole lot about who this person is and who he may have been working with. And they just don't want to tell us. Check this out.
Then there's the whole question of the investigation of the Trump assassination incidents. We heard nothing about that. It was the most extraordinary news story that I've ever, apart from the disappearing president and the mysterious nomination and COVID, presidential candidate and ex-president gets shot and the story's dead within like 48 hours. And all you read in the news from the FBI, there are these comments saying that they don't have any motive evidence. We've done 100 interviews, but we don't know anything about why this happened or, what was going on there. Do you believe that? I have a very hard time believing that there's nothing interesting.
He was kind of your classic 20-year-old American kid with no social media presence whatsoever, ever. You know?
Right. Yes, exactly.
And it is a very typical American story where one day you just wake up and decide to die assassinating a presidential candidate for no reason.
Right. It's like
who has
your first joint. Yeah.
Your first joint. Yeah.
And then the second one, I mean, you know, the Ryan Routh thing, that's not weird at all. Like, I just flew into Florida last night. I don't think I could have gotten my hands on, you know, a Chinese-made SKS semi-automatic rifle without help. I mean, I don't know. That's being a little conspiratorial, but look, there were a lot of...
He met with members of Congress. He lived in Ukraine.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, who is this absolute tool bag in the chat? Joe Ragu? Dan always defends corrupt cops. Listen, we're free speech people, so please allow Joe to speak. Joe, you are a freaking moron. You should definitely try some of that Prevagen or fish oil to prevent your stupid, non-functioning neurons in your brain. You're probably one of these anonymous deep state lib accounts trying to stir up shit in our chat room, which is fine. I'm a free speech guy. Again, we don't ban you for saying dumb stuff. The thing about free speech is you're free to be stupid. I just wish you weren't so stupid in the chat room, Joe Ragu. Nobody, and I mean not a single podcaster out there, is focused more on FBI malfeasance and reforming this corruption at the top than this show. So I don't know what show you're listening to, or just maybe you're too stupid. Maybe mom and dad were dumb and they passed their dumb genes down to you, and you're now passing them on to our chat. But Joe Ragu, you are a moron. You don't listen to this show. You're clearly here to stir stuff up, and should thank the Lord that I'm a free speech advocate, because most people wouldn't put up with stupid like that. Folks, nobody is focused more on FBI malfeasance than me. And my suspicion here, I'm just going to throw this out there that, granted, I'm speculating. But I'm speculating based on, again, data points and sourcing on the matter. I think specifically the Butler incident, where Donald Trump was shot in the head by that young man, it may have been some type of honeypot situation. I'm not sure. I need to get to the bottom of it myself. I'm going to make sure other people do. But I think it may have been a honeypot situation, and I'm not sure who was on the other side of that, using maybe women or other people to get this guy the logistics and everything he needed to get over there. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It's one of those situations, just like the FBI pipe bomb situation, where they seemed to be really interested in the beginning in finding out who it was. And as they found out who it was, all of a sudden the investigation got shut down. Folks, I'm not sure, again, that right now the Secret Service is pushing correctly to get this information out there too. They have an interest in getting this out there to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. We need the leadership there to get moving on this stuff fast. We don't have any time. Speaking of protection, this has turned into another one of those media situations. I mean, media people who absolutely hated John Bolton forever now all of a sudden are concerned about John Bolton's security. They're frauds. By the way, I'm concerned about John Bolton's security. I'm concerned about Mike Pompeo's security. I'm concerned about Brian Hook's security. I dislike their political positions. I categorically do not want to see anything happen to them. However, Donald Trump, I believe, made the right decision. We cannot keep security details for life for all these people. We just can't. She was asked about this yesterday. I'm going to suggest something here. If the Trump team wants to take it, they don't have to take mine. What do they need my advice for? But I have an idea here. Okay, I have an idea. And it's the same way they deal with threats to United States attorneys when they investigate mob cases. They don't get security for life either. And they're at probably far greater threat. Play this cut first, and I'll tell you my suggestion. Check this out.
On stripping security details for figures like John Bolton, Pompeo, Brian Hook, Senator Tom Cotton said that he's seen the intelligence and the threat from Iran is real for anyone who played a role in the Soleimani strike. He voiced concern it wouldn't just impact those individuals, but potentially their family, innocent bystanders, friends, anyone who's near them when they're out in public. Is the president open to reconsidering his decision?
The president was asked and answered this yesterday, and he was firm in his decision despite some of the comments that you had referenced. And he's made it very clear that he does not believe American taxpayers should fund security details for individuals who have served in the government for the rest of their lives. And there's nothing stopping these individuals that you mentioned from obtaining private security. That's where the president stands on it. I have no updates on it.
Now, I don't know if people in the House, the White House, listen to this or not. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about my voice. I promise you, I feel fantastic. I'm really apologetic. I know sound effects are not what we need, but I have to do my show. I can't stay hidden because someone got sick a couple weeks ago, and it's not happening. Here's how you fix this right away. Caroline Leavitt or someone, I don't know if it's someone from DOJ, they have different spokesmen at different places, should come out tomorrow and say, just like United States attorneys, those are basically government prosecutors. They're like DAs for the federal government. They prosecute mob people and terrorists all the time. They get threats you wouldn't believe. I've seen them. I told you, I got threats on a case I worked out of Baltimore. You put out a statement, an official statement from the Trump administration, saying and naming these three individuals and anyone else. And you basically say, if a hair on their head is harmed, that you will come hell or high water. You will make sure anybody who threatens, harms, attempts to harm, talks about harming any American official from any administration, by the way, from any administration. I don't care that from any administration that did something in the name of the United States government, and you are a foreign adversary or terrorist who is going to threaten them, that we are going to make sure that we come after you, your family members, your family members' neighbors, your family members' uncle's neighbor's dog. It is never, ever going to stop. Folks, when the drug cartels killed Kiki Camarena, a horrible story I encourage you to read if you have the stomach for it, and tortured him, a DEA agent, American hero, the United States government overturned every single rock to make sure that they found every one of those people. And believe me, it sent a message. If I were the White House, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would get that on the record early. You guys may think I'm crazy. Oh, here, who said it? Tanamir in the chat. Show them a picture of their house. That's it. Thank you, Tanamir. That's what you do. I don't like any of these people, okay? It has nothing to do with it. You can't have people in the government who are doing things in the name of the United States government. I'm not talking about illegal things, by the way, but making government decisions who have the Iranians then threatening them with impunity. It'll happen to the Trump family next. You can't have that. We can't give people security for life either. What do? You put out a statement, we will kill every single person involved with this terrorist thing. We will track you down wherever you go. Can't really say that, but you can make it clear. They got to do it, and I would do it quick and put this thing to bed. My suggestion, take it if you want. Just my advice and my 134,000 listeners right now. I wanted to address this tweet too. This is a story I got a lot of feedback on yesterday, switching gears a little bit. Folks, this AI story out of China, why didn't I address it yesterday? Because, again, the Bongino rule. I am deeply involved in the tech space from investments of mine. They're all public. They're publicly traded companies. You can look it up. They're not small. I am invested in this tech space because I believe in it. We are involved in a number of different things at Rumble, a company I've invested pretty heavily in. We are involved in some things tech-wise that I've had explained to me. Some came pretty easy. But folks, artificial intelligence is not going anywhere. It is the future. So China came out with this splashy press release through a hedge fund in China that pushed this AI program out there called DeepSeek, and all of a sudden it upended the whole market. It's very complicated what happened, but the messaging I want to distill down to this. DeepSeek is saying, and this Chinese hedge fund, which of course, you know, the CCP probably has to approve a lot of this, I would assume, is saying, look at you idiots who spent $100 million, $1 billion on developing AI. We spent $5 million and we got a better program. So there's an interesting tweet up there I'd encourage you to check out by @PalmerLucky, because a lot of this is true. He says DeepSeek is legitimately impressive, but the level of hysteria is an indictment of so many. Yes, this is why I waited and applied the Bongino rule and did not get into the hysteria. Oh my gosh, it's all over. China beat us. Bullshit. Number one, the $5 million number they spent to develop it is most likely total bullshit. Okay? We don't know what money was flushed in behind the scenes. These companies do not have books like American publicly traded companies do. You have no idea. I think, leave this up for me if you would for a second. Do you think it's an accident they waited for what? Monday or Tuesday after Donald Trump is inaugurated? You think it's an accident that then they released this thing to try to make them look stupid and crush the stock market? Come on, man. You think China's our buddy? They're terrified of Trump. They note that DeepSeek's pushed by a Chinese hedge fund to slow investment in American AI and service their own shorts. In other words, if they shorted the stock, they make a fortune off this. America's a fertile bed for psyops like this because our media hates Donald Trump and tech companies. It's so true. They're dying to write a story. Chinese Communist Party beats capitalist pig America. That's what they want to write. He writes, we have so many useful idiots uncritically reporting Chinese propaganda as fact because they want it to be true. They love seeing hundreds of billion dollars wiped off the market cap of our largest companies because they get to knock off the tech companies that are now supporting Donald Trump, and they get to knock off Donald Trump by saying, look at the stock market crash since the orange man got in office. Do not accept this story at face value, folks. There's a distinct possibility that DeepSeek and these similar type programs are basically just stealing information off already established AI programs we built here in the United States. Kind of like the globe profits off our investment in medicine here. All I'm asking you to do is hold on this story. There are some very smart people. I had a very long conversation with Chris, the CEO of Rumble, the brightest tech guy I know. This guy, and there is no way this story is true on its face. Everybody hold on China and AI. Most of that story is probably bullshit. Propaganda. Yeah, it should be 100% a psyop. I'm reading the chat here. Sorry, I enjoy what you guys always have to say. Folks, we are the media now, okay? We are the media now. I need all of you to understand that. What has two thumbs and is in charge of the media now? You've got him too. This guy. What has two index fingers? That guy right there watching my show. I need your help here on something too. For 4 years, we're going to be doing this. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's up to you. Up to you and up to us to use our email lists, our X profiles, our True Social profiles, our Facebook profiles. And yes, I have been getting a lot of your screenshots, and I have been reporting back to people about what appears to be some continued Facebook fact checking. I told you I'd stay on it, and I am. So thank you for the information. I'm putting it all together. So I need you to debunk something here. The media thinks they have a story now. Now, we're the media and we can crush them, so we got to get busy crushing this conspiracy theory right away. Donald Trump and his administration put out basically a memo saying we are going to be reviewing grants to NGOs, these non-government organizations, for money that was tried to be flushed out the door by Biden for the last minute. Of course, the Democrats and the media ran with this immediately as a conspiracy theory. Donald Trump was cutting off Social Security money and Medicare and all this other stuff. Here is hack goon communist Senator Chris Murphy doing exactly that. Of course, this is all a lie, and I need you to crush this immediately like the bloodbath hoax, but watch this first.
So last night, Donald Trump announced that he was going to implement a shutoff to virtually all federal funding in this country. Let me tell you why that really matters. First, it matters to you and your family and your community. That means that police officers don't get federal funding. That means firefighters don't get federal funding. That means your schools that your kids go to don't get their federal funding. That means nursing homes are shut off from funding. This is an immediate crisis for our kids, for public safety, for our seniors, for our healthcare system. And why?
Hold on. You guys know what I'm doing in the chat? What am I doing, guys? I am updating our new list of media hoaxes board. Oh, you went to the 2-shot camera? We never did it. Hoax number 3. We're only a week. Guys, we're going to need some more boards. I mean, seriously. Wow, look at that. It comes up pretty nice. First, Elon is a Nazi. Second, Chicago, ICE raids in schools. Third, Trump shut off all federal funding. Guys, ladies, we're only a week in. Chris Murphy is a moron. Here is from the EOP, Executive Office of the President, Office of Management and Budget. Question, Q&A. Is this a freeze on benefits to Americans like SNAP or student loans? No. Does that say no? Yes, it says no. Are you sure it says no? Yes, I'm reading it again. No. In a couple different languages. No, niet, no. Any program that provides direct benefits to Americans, if you are getting a benefit, you're not affected, is explicitly excluded from the pause and exempted from the review process. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. Crush it, just like you've crushed the laptop hoax, the bloodbath hoax, the very fine people hoax. I need you to get to work on this and make sure this little screenshot. By the way, there's what's that account? There is a Rapid Response 47 Twitter feed. Gosh, I got to find it. I followed it yesterday. Forgive me. I should be better. I'm going to find it right now. Hold on one second. Rapid. Here it is. I need you guys to follow this. Everybody write this down. I'm going to give you a second. It's really important. It's at Rapid Response 47. You will get all of this information. That is the rapid response team to the hoaxes for obviously 47, Donald Trump's administration now. At Rapid Response 47. I followed them yesterday. There you go, right there. Official Rapid Response account of Trump 47 White House. Please follow it today. At Rapid Response 47. I would guess they're on True Social as well. Please follow it. Make sure you don't let any of this stuff, the concrete harden. Chris Murphy's lying, making that up. He knows because why the left lies, folks. Everything they do is a lie. They either lie, they do 3 things. They either lie, they play dumb, or they are dumb. There's no option 4. They do this all the time. And one of the best guys at exposing this, a guy who's become a real internet celebrity lately, is Scott Jennings over at CNN. How CNN has not fired this guy yet, I don't know. He continues to humiliate all of their contributors on the air. I guess he's good for ratings. It's probably the only reason they keep him there. But here's Scott Jennings again, correcting one of these idiots, a Maria Cardona on the air, who appears completely unaware that the Department of Justice falls in the executive branch of our government. And she's a talking head on CNN. Watch Scott Jennings' face. He's like, do you guys even understand how the Constitution works? Check this out.
Department of Justice does not work for the president.
Yes,
the Department of Justice works for the American people.
No, it works for the executive branch. It's in the Constitution. It exists in the executive branch.
The lawyers of the Justice Department work for the American people.
You're acting like it's an independent branch of government. It's in the executive branch, run by the president.
I mean, yes, but the lawyers of the Justice Department work for the American people, not for the president of the United States, not the person in the office.
So you don't think anyone in the executive branch is bound to the head of the executive branch?
No. Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
Folks, how many times I got to tell you this about the left? They're either lying, playing stupid, or they are stupid. This lady may be genuinely dumb, so I'm not sure. The Department of Justice works in the executive branch of the government, headed by our commander-in-chief, the President of the United States. Saying ridiculously on the air, a tautology, by the way, saying they work for everybody works for the American people. We're a government by the people, for the people. Yes, but in a constitutional republic, we select a president who makes decisions about the Department of Justice and elsewhere. We are not a direct democracy. We're not a democracy. Does everybody in the chat know that? We are not a direct democracy. We vote for a president who has people who work for him. He enacts an agenda the people voted for, who voted him in. And he makes the decisions. We don't vote on every issue. It's not a plebiscite. It's not a direct democracy. Does this lady not know that? Almost comical, by the way, that the Biden DOJ goes after Donald Trump. They have no problem with that. And yet Donald Trump makes some decisions about the Department of Justice, and the left is in a full meltdown. By the way, you want to smile a little bit today? I'm sorry. I know. Justin's like, if you get off the air, this is media malpractice if you get off the air without this. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the worst anti-Trump vile lunatics out there, and a guy who is genuinely stupid. You know, I said they lie, they're dumb, or they play them. A guy who's genuinely stupid is Jim Acosta. He has made a career out of playing stupid. Jim Acosta, I don't know what happened with him in CNN. Was he let go? Did he quit? I have no idea. I never know with these media people. I don't really care. All I know is if on a network with no ratings, you can't cut it, then I don't know what else. How bad can it possibly be? No one watches CNN anyway, so if no one watches you, you'd fit right in. Here's Jim Acosta signing off the air at CNN in one of the great moments in Dan Bongino's show history. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out.
It's never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. One final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media so people can hear from you too. I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming days, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been an honor to be welcomed into your home for all these years. That's the news. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta.
Well, actually, you're not reporting from Washington anymore. I love this guy. I will not give in to the lies. I will only propagate them. There has been no one pushing a bigger bread basket of lies than this clown for the longest time. I'm telling you right now, I'll put my own reputation on it. This guy will absolutely fail in what he does next. There is zero, he will. I don't wish anybody ill will. If you want to follow this idiot, go right ahead. There is zero chance there's an audience for his content when he's out there on his own. He'll get a Substack or whatever. He'll get a few subscribers here or there. There is no way this guy blows up and becomes like a big thing because he's just not talented. I'm sorry. He's just stupid. And even dumb people don't want to follow other dumb people. He's been forced down their throats forever. All right, folks, thanks again for tuning in. Don't miss us on the radio show in a little bit here in Rumble. Rumble.com/Bongino. Please, I am humbly and with the greatest of respect asking that you download the free Rumble app or go to rumble.com/Bongino and click that subscribe, follow button. We really appreciate it. It is free. Join us every day live at 11 a.m. Even when there's a hearing going on, we still got 136,000 people. Rumble.com/Bongino every day at 11. Can watch it on demand anytime. And please give us a follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify too. We deeply.
You just heard the Dan Bongino.
The hell was that? That's the first time we've had to unwind the closing. Now for the official. I'll see you on the radio show here in a little bit and back here tomorrow.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.